Guys, I'm so excited to have everybody here tonight. We have really cool training aside for you tonight. I mean, despite the music, the music, we
Like
have some
whatever
really
that
great
was.
training. Whatever that was. We have some really cool training set up for you guys today. I'm going to talk to you guys about schedule. I went over this a little bit on Monday, but it did not get recorded because I have been plagued with not being recorded, which is weird. Just kidding. I just think everybody likes to hear my trainings over and over again. But anyways, I'm going to talk to you guys about just kind of like blocking your schedule a little bit and just kind of, thank you. I need some water. Just kind of about time blocking your schedule and just kind of like where to focus each week of the month. My hair's super frizzy today. Sorry, guys. And so we're working on that. I'm going to be talking about that. And then Loretta's going to be talking to us a little bit about features and benefits, right? So we just saw if you were on for the cooking show, whether you watched it online or you kind of tuned in a little bit earlier before Rally started. Loretta had kind of, she was doing a cooking demo and she was, talking about products and stuff, but she's going to kind of talk a little bit more in depth about products, features, and demos with us. Just kind of just sharing a little bit more in depth about, what goes into a demonstration, right? And then Jessica is going to be sharing with us an update on BAM, right? She kind of talked a little bit about it. I think it was last week. I feel like so much has happened in the last week that I don't know if it was last week or not. But but I think it was last week that she shared with us about BAM, just kind of the first little sneak preview of it. But it's even more enhanced now, and so she's going to share with you some of the newer features that are especially for champions. So we're super excited about that. So she's going to be talking about that. And then I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about how to get lucky in business. So I'm really excited about maybe that's why Pam was playing that music, right? Right? No, just kidding. I don't know. So so we're going to be talking a little bit about that. So I'm super excited for you guys to be here tonight, and to just kind of get excited about the month. We got a cool month ahead of us. A lot of great sales, right? I mean, gosh, we have two incredible bowl sets on sale this month. I mean, we really couldn't ask for much more. And then they did the sale drop today, right? And the pictures, they had a little like hiccup with the pictures, right? They put them on sale for $20, and then I think that was a mistake, and then they put them at $30, and then people are like, wait a minute, and then they marked them back down to 20, which is really exciting. So thank you, Tupperware, for honoring that first price for us. That is a screaming deal. A gallon pitcher for $20. It's a gallon pitcher, right? Am I wrong there? No, it's a gallon, right? It's a
Right.
gallon pitcher for
Yeah.
$20. That's bananas. Like, so if you do shows, I would be getting some of those. Like after this is over, I'm definitely going to be ordering some. So hopefully they're still there. I just haven't had time to sit down and order any yet. So hopefully there's still some there. But yeah, I mean, that is a great deal because those will sell. Hi, Carrie. Welcome. Welcome, everybody. So my name is Ellen, by the way. I am a leader here at Champion. I'm just kind of filling in for Pam today. And so I am glad you guys are all here. So I'm excited to be kind of here with you guys here today. So, so let's get started. So I have a PDF document, and also I will share it in image format, but I'll also share it in PDF. And it is something really generic that I put together. Seriously, guys, it is really nothing fancy. But what happened is I was looking for direction. I was super overwhelmed. And I was like, all right, I have to come up with something to help narrow my focus, right? And so as a leader, I used to do what was called a planning day, right? And it was all numbers based. And I would go through my numbers from the month before and I would analyze them to figure out where strategically I needed to focus my next month, right? So I would analyze like what numbers were up, what numbers were down, da, 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 da. It was very analytical. And I actually do not have an analytical bone in my body. It's something I have to force. But it's a very important part of the business, right? And so I can definitely tap into it if I need to. And when I'm there, right? With our new system update a year or two ago, I was having trouble doing this planning day with the reports that we had. So I've been kind of floundering around, and finally I was like, okay, I can't just keep floundering around. I need a focus, right? So I still haven't figured out the number part of it and being able to do what I used to do. But I was like, well, you know what I can do? I can focus on my schedule and my daily tasks, right? So like about a month or so ago, that's what I set out to do. So I started with, I was like, let me map out my week because I was feeling really overwhelmed. So this is what I came up with, right? And so I labeled the weeks, right? So I labeled the weeks based on what the focus of the weeks should be in our business, right? And that's just from everything that everybody says and just years of the being in the business, right? And so the first week I just labeled Power Week, right? And so you can label it whatever you want to. Okay, this is just me, right? So you can just kind of do whatever you want. And these forms that I got, like I said, are super generic, and I just literally got templates in Canva. So if you're versed in Canva, you can get templates and you can make them as beautiful or as generic as you want, right? And so I just put Power Week across the top. And like I said, I'm going to share mine. I put Power Week across the top. And those weeks, the first week of the month, your focus should be sales and recruiting, right? So that should be your focus for the first week of the month, period. I don't care what level you're at, your focus should be sales and recruiting. And so if you're sitting there and you're just like, well, I'm new, and so I don't really have any parties, I don't have anything, so I don't really know how to focus on sales or recruiting, right? Well, that's easy enough. So even if you don't have any parties, you focus on dating those parties. You focus on making connections to get future sales, right? You focus on maybe circling back to people that you talked to the previous month that were interested in products, but maybe they didn't place their order, right? So that's where you focus on getting new business. So you focus on finding new customers, right? And so it starts with one, right? It starts with one new contact, one new customer, one new anything, right? And if you're just like, well, I don't even know if I want to recruit, that's okay. That's absolutely okay if that's where you're at right now. Focus on getting in front of people, focus on the customers, right? Because through the customers, you might end up finding recruits accidentally. People might actually come to you and be like, so how can I do what you're doing? Because you look like you're having fun. Or how can I do what you're doing? Because my grandma sold Tupperware, right? And so sometimes through making those connections, trying to get the sales, you might accidentally stumble upon some recruits. And then you can kind of work through that process as well. But in Tupperware, we called the first week when you focused on dating parties, when you focused on dating parties sales, we called that front loading, right? Because if you go ahead and you have sales right here in the first week of the month, you're setting yourself up for success, right? You're starting that sort of like snowball effect that is going to lead to you having a better luck, more likely to hit your sales goals, to hit your stepping up goals, to hit all of the goals that you might be going towards, right? And so when you go ahead and you have those wins on early in the month, one, Pam has a promotion called Green by 15, right? And that's to have 500 in sales as consultants, have 500 in sales by the 15th of the month, right? So if nothing else, go for that, right? And maybe you're like, Ellen, I have not had 500 sales in an entire month, and you're telling me to do it by the 15th. Hey, listen, I hear you. I hear you. I'm with you. Okay. So don't worry. Okay. So don't stress about that. But if you sit there and you're like, all right, so Pam has this goal, 500 by the 15th. Well, what if I could get 100 by the 15th? That's pretty cool. I've never had 100 by the 15th. Maybe I could do that, right? And so don't be intimidated just because Pam has this promotion. That doesn't mean just because if you're sitting there and you're going, wow, I have never done that an entire month, so that promotion's not for me. No, break it down. Take it down lower. So for years when I've done trainings about goal setting and I do things like that, I have talked about lowering the bar, right? So I talk about lowering the bar. And so I was a high jumper in school, right? And in my middle school, we had metal bars. So when you missed that bar, it hurt. You felt it. And I remember when I was first learning how to high jump and I was trying really hard to get over this certain height, I was trying so hard and I kept hitting it and hitting it to the point, at one point, we had to stop and rebend the bar back because it was bent in a V from me hitting it so many times. My back was bruised. Like now, I think parents probably would have called the school, but my parents were just like, well, won't do that again, right? Because that's what it was, right? And so But I remember my coach at that time was like, you know what, Ellen, let's just take it down. And so he kept taking it down and down and down and down until the bar literally met the mat. Because I could not get over this bar to save my life that day. I don't know what it was. I was just having a day. I couldn't get over it. And so he took it down to the point where it was level with the mat. And that's when I finally was able to get over the bar without knocking it off the stands. And he was like, fantastic. He cheered like I just cleared a 6-foot bar, and he cheered his head off, and he was just like, all right, let's end this day on a win. And I was like, thank you. I was like, please, right? But sometimes that's what we need to do. So if green by 15, getting $500 in by the 15th of the month is like, girl, you're nuts. There's no way I can do that. It's okay. Lower that bar. So challenge yourself to get 50 by the 15th, right? Are you going to get an award from Pam? No, probably not. However, you got your reward, right? Because you hit that goal that you set for yourself, right? And so get excited about that. And then, then be like, all right, can I do another 50 before the end of the month? And then if you have your first $100 month and you've never had a month that you had more than 20 bucks, that's a big freaking deal. That's a big deal. And you need to get excited about it, right? Now, the opposite. Some of you are like, $500, I can do $500 in a day, right? And that's okay. That's fantastic. That's wonderful, right? So challenge yourself. If green by 15, you're like, I do that, right? That's fantastic, right? So challenge yourself to double that. Challenge yourself to do the 500 in the first week. Challenge yourself to do 500 in the first 48 hours. I can tell who my partiers are because a lot of times as soon as the month switches over, they have sales go in, right? Because they're kind of got one leg in one month and one leg in the other, right? So I know that they've got parties going on because they are closing out their month with sales, and then when the month switches over, they have sales right away because they already have pre-orders because of the party, right? And so I can tell that based on how numbers come in. And so challenge yourself to do that. So the first week is sales and recruiting focus, right? So you take a schedule like this, right? And you block out your time of when it is that you're working, but also put your personal commitments in here, right? So then you can figure out where's the white space that you're gonna put in the times that you're going to make your phone calls, the times that you're going to reach out to people, right? So this isn't colorful and pretty, right? I mean, sometimes I make it colorful and pretty when I have time, but I've been busy, okay? So so I have on here, like, I'll show you towards the end of the month, like, because that one's kind of bare, right? Because here are like my weekly commitments, right? This is when I have across there. This is when I get James off the bus every day, right? These are James's track practices in our rally down here. These are the calls with Pam. I have a call there, and then my call there, and then our director calls down here, and then I have my chiropractor appointment, right? So that's like stuff that happens like every single week, except for the chiropractor appointment, right? Every single week, these things happen every single week. So I already have that in there, but I don't have my work times in there. So on these other times, I have slated in when I'm going to go live, right? I have my times when I'm going to go live. And then I have times when I'm going to like pack orders and do things like that, or place orders or things like that. So if you're doing live parties, you can have your party times are in here. If you do Facebook parties, you schedule in this is when I'm going to be posting in my parties. This is when I'm going to like sit down and map out my parties. However it is that you do it, what's your process, right? You put it in here. And so it just kind of helps you map out your time, because when I'm scheduled, I feel much more in control. When I'm not scheduled, the week will go by and I was like, I didn't touch my business this week. It's like, oh, that's a quick way to be out of business, right? So week 2 is your building week, right? So again, it's still a sales and recruiting focus, right? So you're building on what you started in week 1. So you're still focusing on sales and recruiting. Hey, newsflash, every week is focused on sales and recruiting. Just so you know, every week you're doing activities around sales and recruiting, all right? But this is a build week. So you're still like recontacting the people from the week before. You're trying to see who you can get in front of. You're trying to date more parties. You're trying to do things like that, right? So week 3 is a growth week, right? So this is where you check in on your goals. Like, where are you at? What did you set out for your goals this month, right? And you don't adjust your goals, you adjust your activity. So if you are looking at it and you're like, I am nowhere near my goals that I set out for this month. I set out, and sometimes if it's overwhelming to you to set number goals, because I go back and forth. Sometimes I set my goals are dollar amounts, right? My goal is to sell $2,000 this month, right? And so sometimes my goals are number goals. And then sometimes when that's not working for me, either one, I'm bored with it because I'm just like, I don't know, I'm not hitting these goals and it's really annoying me. And so I'm just getting kind of bored with not hitting these goals and I'm getting annoyed, right? So sometimes it's that. And sometimes I'm just literally bored. Like I just want to change things up, right? So you can also set activity goals, right? What are your activity goals? And so an activity goal is I'm going to date and hold 5 parties this month, right? Don't worry about the goal, like the sales goal. Don't worry about the sales and the results from those parties. I want to date and I want to hold 5 parties this month, right? And so sometimes it's activity goals. And sometimes if that is too much for you, take it down even further. I want to contact 5 people this week. I want to personally reach out to 5 people this week and talk Tupperware and talk to them about Tupperware and either ask them to date a party or join my team, right? Doesn't matter the outcome. Who cares about that, right? Doesn't matter. Let go of the outcome and enjoy the process. Enjoy these conversations. Get comfortable talking about it, right? Those are important, just as important goals as the numbers, right? Because if you focus on those activity goals, the numbers eventually will end up happening if you're being honest with yourself about those activity goals. All right. So in week 3, you're checking in to see where you're at with those goals. If you need to date more parties, if you need more recruits, where are you at? Is one of your goals to step up this month? Is one of your goals to get paid as, a manager this month, if you're already a manager. And then week 4 is about promoting and about hitting your goals. That's where you really dial in. You're like, how close am I to a personal volume bonus? Personal volume bonuses start at $1,500 in personal sales. How close are you to that? Because that's an extra $50, right? I'd take an extra $50. That's pizza money, man. That's takeout. That's that's fun money, right? Because I already did the work. That's extra money. So I love it. I love a personal volume bonus, right? And it starts at $1,500, right? And it goes up from there, right? If you have 4,000 in sales, you get 400 extra dollars. Like, what? That is not chump change. That is a car payment. Like, hello. That is exciting. That's something to get excited about, right? Or, are you reaching to step up, right? And so you're like, how close am I to stepping up? Can we do this? And reach out to your upline and make a plan, even if you're disappointed. It's funny. I was talking to my doctor. I was working with my doctor in the last like 6 months. I was working with him on some health stuff. And I said to him, I was like, I almost canceled. This is like back in December. I was like, I almost canceled this appointment. He's like, why? And I was like, because I figured you'd be disappointed in me. And he was like, do not cancel an appointment because you think I'm going to be disappointed in you. That's why you need to come. He's like, because we can talk and we can work it out. And I was like, oh. It's the same thing with us, guys. When you reach out to your upline and talk to them, they're not going to be disappointed in you. They're going to be probably proud of you for reaching out to them and being like, listen, I'm not hitting my goals this month and I'm kind of frustrated. I'm not sure what to do, and meet with them, talk to them, make a plan. And the plan might be to lower the bar, guys. Don't be afraid. That's literally what we're here for because our goal is for you to succeed, whatever that looks like. I always tell people your goals are my goals, but my goals aren't your goals. Your goals are my goals, but my goals aren't your goals, right? My goals are my goals, but your goals are my goals. If your goal is to make $100, I want you to make that $100, whatever that's for, And so yeah, so that is, and like I said, this is just like a blank form, but I love nothing more than a blank calendar that I can mess with and like make my perfect week and make my perfect outline. And does it always work out this way? No, it doesn't. I mean, my to-do lists on my planner, do I always do all that stuff? No, I don't. I wish I did. No, I don't. and then when I don't get to something, I just cross it out. I put a line through it that's like, I didn't do that. And that just tells me I need to carry it over to the next day or just need to scratch it. So, all right. So I hope that helps. And maybe just give you some things to chew on. Maybe that you can take it in another direction that maybe works for your brain. Or if you have some questions around it, always reach out. Or maybe that's something that you could partner with your upline about and be like, how can I make this work? How can I like come up with a plan? Because if you don't plan to work, you plan to fail. There's no two ways about it, because we always say that this business is very flexible. But if you do not like plan to work your business, you will flex your way right out of business. Trust. I almost did it in college with a flex class. I missed my final. And I realized I was driving home and I was like, I'm done. And then I was like, ooh. I forgot to take my final in my flex class, right? So don't be like me. You can be flexible, but don't flex yourself out of business, right? All right, so let's take it. If Loretta is ready, let me see if I can see her. Loretta, are you ready? Is she in her office? Oh, she's still cleaning. Oh, well, that's right.
I'm
She's
down
doing,
here.
yeah, you're doing
Can you guys
product
see
stuff,
me?
right?
Yeah. Can you guys
Okay.
see me?
Yeah, we can see you.
For some reason, I can't see myself. Okay. Yes, I was cleaning up because we just did the cooking show. And I wanted to finish off these potatoes. I don't think I can show them here because I'm on my laptop now. But anyway, but I used the multi cooker. Okay. Tupperware's smart multi cooker. This guy right here. Okay. It is one of my have tos in my kitchen. And I love it so much that, I use it for all kinds of things and I'll share with you. But my son, Mateo, got married last year and he has to have, I had to get him the multi cooker. All right. Because it does so much. And so that kind of makes me proud of him. He is a Tupper kid. He almost was born at the Tupper bingo party. Anyway, if you weren't at the Tupperware Bingo Party and you're local to Brunswick, make sure you come. We are hopefully having them every month. I think our next one is March 20th. But let me share with you the features and benefits of the smart multi-cooker, okay? So first of all, you have the base. This is your colander. This is your base. Right now with this base, you can cook pasta. You want to throw macaroni noodles, elbow macaroni noodles down inside of here, cover it up with some water, add some salt to it, put it in the microwave, usually add about 4 minutes to the cook time and walk away. Okay. You don't have to wait for the water to boil. You don't have to sit over the stove top. You don't have to, oh my goodness, don't look, it's going to boil over. No. Okay. You can go do those noodles and go do something else. All right. So I absolutely love that. So you can do that with this. Then if you want to do rice, quinoa, any of your grains. So actually, I think it was last night or the night before, my son's like, Mom, how do you make quinoa in the multi-cooker? I'm like, I don't know, let me find out. Anyway, about 8 minutes, put your quinoa in there, 1 cup of quinoa, 2 cups of water, and then whether it's rice. Now, my favorite thing to do is have rice on hand. Because if you're meal prepping or anything like that, you want to have that starch, you want to have that carb, you want to have a protein, you want to have your vegetables. And so this is my way to get my carbs right here in the brown with the brown rice. And so 2 cups of brown rice, I find for me, 5.5 cups of water is perfect. All right. It might be 6 cups for you. I like my rice a little, I don't like it so mushy. So 5.5 cups seems to be the perfect number for me. So rice, okay, the water, you're going to add the tray. All right. The tray right here has a couple little holes on the top. All right. And you're going to put the little tabs facing up because you're going to be able to pull it off. Otherwise, if you have it upside down, you won't be able to pull it up. Okay. You put that on top. And then you have your cover. The cover has some holes right here for venting, okay? And you're gonna make sure, and I'm sorry guys, I'm on my laptop, so I don't know if you can see this, all right? You see the handles here on the on the colander? You need to line up the handle that's on the cover. So you line those two guys up and you seal it up. Now I know that for brown rice, it is 5 minutes on high, okay? See my handles are lined up right here. I'm going to do 5 minutes on high in the microwave, and then I'm going to do 50% power for 40 minutes. And I'm gonna walk away. I'm gonna go upstairs and enter my orders. I'm gonna go take care of mommy. Whatever I need to do, okay? I can walk away because when the microwave turns off, it turns off. Okay, I don't have to stand there over the stove top and keep mixing the rice and waiting for the water to evaporate, and I don't know, it sticks all over the place. No, okay. So this is a time saver, and you can make nice big batches for your meal prepping for the week. All right. So when that rice is done, you squeeze. That's why you have to put these handles together, or you won't be able to open it. You squeeze the handles together, okay, and the cover comes off. All right. Now be careful. Make sure the steam, you open it away from you so you don't get a facial. It's going to be a hot one. Okay. And then if you have really starchy grains, rices, that starch will bubble up onto the top of this tray and will stay in this tray and not go back into your rice and your grains. Okay, so you're gonna have a little less starch in your rice. Okay, so we've got pasta cooking, we've got rice and grains cooking, and I'm telling you, my ultimate favorite is the steamer part. Okay, this is your colander. Okay, right here, and it's metal. Okay, so if you're not gonna, you're gonna feel the weight of it, and you have your cover, which is also metal. And Tupperware does a lot of research, okay, in its design, has won awards for these products, okay, and the microwaves cannot penetrate here. So you're not cooking with microwaves to steam your broccoli, to steam your green beans, to steam your chicken. You can make a chicken fajita in here. My daughter-in-law was so excited. She's like, "What? I could do that all at the same time?" I'm like, "Yeah." So you can take some chicken strips, put it in the base, okay, and then in the tray, you see the tray, which I don't have here because I don't know where it is, but my son might have it. So you're gonna put the tray inside, okay? And on that tray, you're gonna add sliced up peppers, green peppers, yellow peppers, red peppers, onions, okay? And you can season it with your chipotle seasoning, and then put the cover on, and then you're gonna put it in the microwave for about 15 minutes. You're gonna have your chicken and your veggies all ready to go, and you'll have chicken fajita. You want to steam some green beans, okay? Green beans, trim them up. Alexa, stop. That's my timer from other potatoes. Okay. We want to do some green beans in here, some broccoli in here, trim them up, put them down inside of here. Don't pack it in, okay? Because if you make it really packed, the steam cannot penetrate. Okay, so make sure it's nice and loose. Make sure it's not over the top. Make sure that cover can actually lay flat on here so that the microwaves don't go into it, okay? And that you're only boiling the water. And I'm telling you, your green beans, your broccoli are going to be vibrant. They're going to be bright green. They're going to be more healthy. They're going to have more nutrients because when you boil your broccoli and your green beans or whatever vegetables you're making on the stovetop in the water, you lose about 80% of the vitamins and nutrients. All right. Why are we eating veggies in the first place? All right. We want the nutrients. So steaming is like the #1 way to cook to steam up your veggies. Okay. So absolutely a must have in the kitchen. And I remember when I was first married, I had a rice maker that I had to plug in, and it was a pain in the butt to clean. Okay. I had to boil pasta over the stove top, and my stove is a terrible stove, and it takes forever just to boil water. I mean, I was in the kitchen forever. I love this steamer. It's going to save you so much time, and it has so many features to it, and there's so many other things to do. So tonight I made the potato bites, and I just steamed my potatoes. I'm telling you, I steam my potatoes in here. I never boil potatoes on the stovetop. So it's a must-have, guys. If you don't have one, grab it. Get it, have yourself a party, get it half price or get it free. But somehow, some way, get yourself this multi-cooker. All right, who's coming up next?
Awesome. You know what? We're going to kick it right over to Jessica, who is going to talk to us about BAM.
Hey everybody! Yay! All right, so tonight we are going to talk about BAM, and this is going to be part 2. So before we get started though, I have a question to ask you all. Hold on a minute. So who here has downloaded BAM, created their account, and joined the Team Top? Say me in the comments. That was your assignment. Who did it? Yay, Jerry, Jenny, awesome. All right, Tiffany. All right, Gina. All right, Kat. Awesome. So what are you guys loving about it? Let us know in the chat. What are you guys loving about it so far? Hey, Tammy, you too. Awesome. So what are you guys loving about it? Yes, everything is in one spot. Your pictures are all there. Super easy to navigate and understand. Awesome. That's awesome. So yes, it is a great way to simplify your digital life, right? So you can put all your pictures and videos, all your Tupperware stuff and everyday life right into this one app, which is just what? One click, right? Instead of going to all these different places. Well, I have something else super excited to share with you all, and it's for our champion team. So if you're excited to hear what this is, it's going to even help you simplify even more of your Tupperware business. It's crazy. All right. So if you're excited to hear it, give me a 1 in the comments. I have to have lots of excitement before I share this amazing news to you all. Awesome. All right, you guys are excited and you're ready. So we are going to get started. Awesome. All right. All right, that's like 10, so we're good. All right, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you all. So last time, if you watched part 1, I was on my smartphone, right? I got to move some things around here so I can see you guys. All right, I was on my smartphone. And then for this one, I want to show you all that it's been updated, and I will share this link with you guys as well. But this is from my laptop. So can you see my screen, Loretta? I see you. Yes. Okay, good. Awesome. All right. So this is the view from my laptop, but it's very similar, guys, to your smartphone. And I just wanted to make sure this was updated first before I showed you. So yay. So we can use both the smartphone and a laptop. But here it is. Wait till you guys see this. I am going to scroll down and you guys are going to be like, whoa, it's that amazing. Do you see it? It says champion, right? And it's our flags, right? Yay, yay, bam, yay, Scott. Thank you so much. So everything, guys, guess what? It's all in one place. So everything that was in boards, guess where it's at? Right here in BAM. And guess what? It is free. All right. And I'll talk a little bit more about that here in a few minutes, but I want to show you guys this album and how to get to it. There is a link you have to join. Don't worry, I will share that in Champion and right here in the chat so you can join it right away because you told me you already have it downloaded. So yay, it should be simple, simple, simple. All right, so let me just give you a little rundown here of what this looks like. Of course, you have any questions later, feel free to reach out to us and we'll be happy to answer those questions for you. Awesome, I see the chat going. All right, so here's all the folders, just like it was in boards. It's all right here in BAM. All right, I'm not gonna go over all of them right now. You guys can scroll through those and look at them. But I do want to show you March. So here is March. It's thinking. Hopefully it's coming. It's spinning. Oh, there it is. All right, so it's all in one spot, guys. You don't have to go everywhere searching in a whole bunch of different folders either. Because look, it's all on one page. Like, whoa. So there's the sales, right? So let's keep scrolling. I'm going to have to move you guys again. Okay, there's the engagement post. Awesome. And we'll be loading the file for that too here soon for all the word choices. Let's scroll down a little bit more. There's all the perks for March, all over your fingertips. No excuse not knowing what's going on. It's all right there. All right, there's the host stuff. There's all the recruiting stuff for March. There's the more, and then there's the fundraising. And guess what, guys? There is your copy and paste party. All right there, pre-party, day 1, day 2, and it's all right there at your fingertips. Isn't that amazing? Yes, so give me a 3 in the comments if you're excited about this new feature that we have using BAM. It is going to streamline your digital life so much easier. Now, you're wondering, well, we're like putting all this in here. We're cleaning up our phone, our devices, right? Does that mean I got to download all this stuff again? No. All right. I'm going to show you how you can keep all your content right into this app and then post directly from this app. Are you excited to learn that? Right? Give me a 4 in the comments if you're excited to hear how to do that. All right, so we're going to move out of this album. Okay, I'm going to go back to the home screen and I'm going to show you, it's called a keyboard. All right, so don't worry about the stuff, the other stuff you see. I'll explain that here in a minute. But if you go to the getting started on BAM, which is on the free version of BAM, if you see right here where it says installing keyboard, that's going to be a lifesaver and it's really easy to do. All you have to do is watch the video and do the prompts it asks you to do, and it'll be right on your device, and you can just actually post right from your device. You don't have to save anything or anything. So, whew, thank you, Tupperware. Thank you, BAM. All right. So before we end tonight, like I said, I'm going to send that link to you guys for the champion. Make sure you join that. But I want to explain to you because Scott does have a promotion going on right now. I don't want you guys missing this, all right? Or not understanding like what happened to what is it? Team Top, right? So through March 15th, it's all free. All right, this is free. After March 15th, there is a pro version. Now, if you're on the free version, if you want to write this down, I'm going to tell you what's on the free version. All right, looking at my screen. You get the My Albums, okay, on the free version. You get up to 5 albums you can create for free. All right, you're going to get Champion. So you'll have the Champion album for free. All right, then you're going to get Getting Started on BAM. The training is free for BAM. All right, and then the lifestyle right here. The lifestyle memes are free as well. All right. But if you want it all, I also found out the other night, I was playing around with it before I share this stuff with you guys, that you can upload 100 things, all right, in the free version. All right, so in the pro version, this is what you're going to get. You're going to get everything that you see on my screen. You're going to get the lifestyle vote. You're going to get unlimited albums that you can create. You're going to get Champion. You're going to get the social playbook, which helps with all social media. You're going to get Team Top. You're going to get started on BAM. You're going to get the lifestyle, and you're going to get bonus training from Scott and his team. So that's pretty amazing. So right now, he has a promotion for us, Tupperware folks. Up until, you probably see it here at the top of my screen, up until March 15th, it's 50% off through the 15th. So if that's something you want it all, it's 50% up right now up until the 15th. But if you want the free version, go for the free version. It's totally up to you and what works for you and your business. You will definitely get the champion stuff. All right, everyone. All right, I'm going to stop my share. All right, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, and we're back to you, Ellen.
Awesome. And Tammy had a question. She asked, can you schedule in groups? And not at this time. You can't schedule in groups from this. But you can still like schedule through through Facebook. So like you can use the little globe in the corner, just like you can in boards, and like take it right out of BAM and just schedule as you're posting it in there. So you can do it that way, but you can't schedule through BAM, if that makes sense, to answer your question. So awesome. All right. So we are going to talk about getting lucky in business. All right. So how do you spell luck? You spell it W-O-R-K. That's right. Because the harder you work, the luckier you're going to get. All right. So a couple quotes for you. We must believe in luck, for how else can we explain the success of those we don't like? All right. So how you increase the chances of Lady Luck shining on you in your small business every day? It can start with you changing your own thoughts and behaviors to get better results, right? So step one, you want to maximize each opportunity. Lucky people don't lock themselves in their office. They actually go out and look for additional possibilities to be able to make things happen, right? Tony Robbins is quoted as saying, if you do what you've always done, you always get what you've always gotten, right? And we've heard Pam say that so many times, right? So many times, but it's so true. So be open to meeting new people and exposing yourself to new situations that can bring additional opportunities. But not only that, but also additional growth, right? You know, we talk about, I had a friend and she used to refer to it as living on the edge of her comfort zone. And I loved that. And when the first time I heard her say that, I was like, and she probably got it from a book or training, but I just loved it. The thought of like living on the edge of your comfort zone. I talk about people talk about like, getting out of your comfort zone, and that they don't like the idea of getting out of your comfort zone because that implies that you're going to get back in your comfort zone, right? But I was looking to see if I had it. I probably do not. Oh, I do. I normally don't have rubber bands sitting around. So, but yeah, so a rubber band is a perfect example, right? So if you take a rubber band and you put it down and you draw a circle around it, and then you stretch it and stretch it and stretch it and stretch it and stretch it, stretch it, it will never be that same size again, right? And that's your comfort zone, right? So if you think about it, if your comfort zone is like the rubber band, the more you stretch it and the more you challenge it and the more you do challenging things, right? And you expand your horizons, you expand your experiences through experiences and things like that, right? You're going to stretch your comfort zone, right? You're going to stretch it, and then it's never going to be quite the same. It's going to be expanded, right? And you're going to be expanded. You're going to change, right? You're going to change. You're going to, be a little braver, right? You're going to be a little bit changed, So, so yeah, so it's important to do that. So you always remember success happens when opportunity meets preparation. And I think about that all the time. That is one of my favorite like quotes, sayings, and things like that. And whenever I'm kind of like trying new things and I'm learning new things, I think about that. And I'm just like, especially because I can't think of how many times I take a training and there are bits and pieces of it that don't apply to me right there in that moment. But then down the road, I'm like, I'll be listening to something and I'm just like, okay, yeah. This is all making sense because I know, I knew just kind of like a little bit of what they were talking about, right? Because of this training I took that didn't apply to my situation back then, right? But then I'm just like, I'm following. Yes. I know about that, right? But I know enough to be able to keep up with the conversation, right? Because of a training I listened to a while ago that didn't have anything to do with me at the time, but now it's relevant, right? And that's really truly opportunity meeting preparation, right? Am I fully prepared? No, not 100%, but I'm prepared enough to have this conversation, right? And so you never know when that opportunity is going to present itself. So that's why you always want to be preparing. You always want to be sharpening that saw, right? So number 2 is to spread your risk. So don't bet the success of your business on one single action or decision. The more chances you have for success, the more times you can be successful. So learn what you can from the results and then take another action, right? That is one of the most important things. So many times people, they bank it all on one thing, and a lot of times here's what I hear. And if this is you, then just listen, there's no judgment and no shame. If I ever do a training and you feel like, whoa, she's talking to me, no, not necessarily. Okay. Just think about it and think about like, cause I've definitely gone to trainings and I was like, yeah, that might be me, right? And it's okay. It's okay to shine a light on yourself and to look at yourself in the mirror and go, okay, do I like that? Do I like that about myself? Do I want to change? Right. Because, I heard a quote I don't know when it was a couple weeks ago, and they were like, what's a quote that changed your life? And this woman said, if you don't change, it's a choice. And I was like, whoa, that is big, right? Because if somebody is if you're listening to a training and you feel like, whoa, does this person like, are they watching me? Like, do they know that I do that? Right? That thing I'm not supposed to do. Do they know that? Right? If you think that, right, then if you feel like somebody's like looking into your soul and you're like, right? But if you don't change, it's a choice. It's a choice to remain in that situation, whether that's an uncomfortable situation or it's a good situation, right? And so you want to make sure that you're doing that, right? And so you learn what you can from those results and you take another action, because many times I'll be talking to somebody and they'll be like, I can't date any parties. Nobody wants to date parties. And I'm like, nobody wants to date parties. How many people did you ask? Well, I asked everybody. I'm like, everybody. That's a lot of bodies. So like, and I'm like, I know you didn't ask everybody, I'm like, and I felt that way too. And it's my husband will call me out on it. And I catch myself because the first time he called me out on it, he's like, you're speaking in absolutes. You realize that, right? And I'm like, Whoa, yeah. And he was just like, well, if you're speaking in absolutes, then it's most likely a lie. And I'm like, well, dang, like, why you gotta be so harsh? But the people that love you the most, they're the ones that sometimes can be the harshest because they can, right? But they love you the most and they want you to be your best, right? And so they do sometimes give you those harsh reality checks. And so now, since he said it to me a few times over the years, um, I catch myself, and when I catch myself speaking in absolutes, it is funny because I had a conversation with my sister the other day, and we had the absolute conversation, and she was just like, "Yeah, I do too." Like, I catch myself speaking in absolutes, and I realize, like, yeah, that's probably not true. I'm probably just feeling overwhelmed right now, and I'm probably just, feeling disappointed, and that's why I'm speaking in absolutes, right? And so if you catch yourself speaking in absolutes, like nobody wants to do a party or nobody wants to buy from me, then there's probably are some people out there that want to do a party. You're just not finding them right now, and that's okay. That means that you need to learn what you can from those results and take another action, maybe go in another direction. So I remember there was a period of time I couldn't date a party to save my life, like save my life. There have been many times that I have been in a rut where I couldn't date a party to save my life. And sometimes I feel like it's God's hand, right? He's like kind of like, now's not your time, because and at one time something really big happened. Like I went into labor like early. So there was a reason I couldn't date parties that week. Um, but sometimes there's, something going on, right? And so I pivoted. I was like, you know what, maybe I'll focus on fundraisers for right now. So I'd really focused on the fundraising side of the business, got some fundraisers going, right? And then you know what happened? Parties. Right? When I wasn't looking at the parties started happening. And then another time, like I was like, okay, can't take parties right now. So let's focus on vendor events. So I started focusing on vendor events. You know what happened? Parties. So I have parties and vendor events, right? So sometimes you need to learn what you can from the results and take another action, right? So plan, do, review, right? And then do again, right? Plan, do, review, plan, do, review. That is what you need to do, right? Don't just throw your hands up in the air and say, nobody wants Tupperware. Nobody wants to do parties, because all you have to do is look at the recognition in Tupperware and see there are definitely people that want Tupperware, and there's definitely people that want to do parties. We just got to find them. No biggie. All right. We can do it. All right. So number 3 is listen to your gut. Developing an intuition is about honing a skill in a certain area to see patterns that others miss, right? It takes diligent practice over a long period of time. Listening to your gut, right? Listening to your gut about, various things. I listen to my gut all the time, and every time that I don't listen to my gut and I go against my gut, I've always regretted it. Even when I was in high school. Every time I didn't listen to my gut and I snuck out of the house, I got busted. Every time. Every time. Every time. And I should have known. And it started at an early age, and I know I'm joking about that, but seriously, I'm like, and so I started at an early age, like really, like anytime my stomach, I'm like, oh, I don't know, something's weird, something's off, right? So listen to your gut. And I don't mean like that means you need to freeze. It means you just need to take pause and think, okay, well, is there something else I can do that might be better aligned with maybe my core values? Maybe it's your core values. Maybe you're out of alignment with your core values, and maybe that's what's causing the issues with your gut, right? And maybe you need to kind of make a few tweaks in your business that way, right? So just listen to it, pay attention to that intuition, and just be mindful of that. All right, number 4, don't get frustrated. Don't get frustrated. All right, stressful people tend to be tense and uptight, right? And they can seem desperate, and customers can smell this. So true. It can be critical for you to relax and not press too hard in almost every sales situation. So you heard me earlier, I said the words, let go of the outcome and enjoy the process. So, it was funny, when we were working on the BAM app with, Scott, at one point I was talking with him about it because he was talking to me about the boards. And since I was working on the boards, he was showing me what could be done as far as moving the boards over to his BAM app. And in that conversation, he very casually said that he was meeting with somebody who what is the president and owner of, and founder of the Direct Selling Women's Alliance. And fun fact, that's how Pam and I met, was through the Direct Selling Women's Alliance. And he said, Nikki Kehoho is her name. And I said, oh, I had a very pivotal moment in my life came from a conversation with Nikki Kehoho. I remember where we were sitting and all of this, right? And and one of the things that came out of that conversation was to let go of the process or let go of the outcome and enjoy the process, to the point because I was so desperate to have success in direct sales. Like, we were going down in flames financially. And she shared with me a story of her life when they were desperate financially. And I was so honored that she shared such an intimate story of such a financial hardship in her life. And she shared that with me, and she said, and you have to let go, because you're never going to get anywhere if you are constantly stressed about that money. And I was just like, but how? Like, how do I let go of that when it's like an albatross around my neck? And she said, you have to let go of the outcome and enjoy the process. So I pulled out my P-Touch labeler, right? And I made a label on my P-Touch labeler, and I put it literally across the top of my keyboard on my laptop. And we probably still own that laptop because my husband won't throw any electronics away. Don't get me started about that. I can pull it out, and it's tattered and broken in two. I think that one in particular, because the kids slammed it. So, and it has on there, let go of the outcome and enjoy the process. So when I would make my phone calls, that's what I would do. And when I would come out of the office from making my phone calls, Eric would ask me how they went, and I would never tell him my stats. So when I was talking earlier about, like, sometimes don't focus on like the numbers, right? The sales, like, well, my goal is to sell $2,000 this month. Sometimes you focus on the activities, and that's what I had to do. And so I wouldn't necessarily talk about the stats. I would come out of my office and I'd be like, I had some really cool conversations. I talked to this girl who works for American Greetings, and she was telling me that her job is to put the glue on the envelopes or monitor the machine. And I would tell him about these cool conversations I have with people. I wouldn't tell him necessarily that they said no to a party. I wouldn't tell him necessarily like what the outcome of those conversations were, because I was really trying really hard to enjoy the process, right? And so sometimes that's what you have to do to keep from getting frustrated and to keep from being stressful. So if you are feeling stressful about this business, do whatever you have to do to enjoy the process. Maybe enjoying the process is being on these meetings, and maybe enjoying the process is finding a business building buddy where you two can challenge each other and just link arms and have a really great time in this business together, right? And maybe after our meetings, you guys have your own little happy hour and you discuss what went on in the meeting. I did that with Tabitha Brinkman. That's how her and I became friends, as we took a training together. And after we did the training, we would meet up on a phone call so we could dissect what we just heard and figure out how we could take what we just heard and apply it to Tupperware, right? And so that's how we really became friends. And so maybe that is something that will help you find the joy in this business, because when you find the joy, then you'll find the business. I promise you. So yeah, so number 5 is expect luck. Expect good things to happen. Expect the best. And this is coming from somebody whose motto before Tupperware was expect the worst and hope for better. Like, literally, I said it all the time. Right? So expect luck. Expect luck. People who think they're lucky and successful may have more of an opportunity for it to end up that way. This is because they optimistically focus on a victorious outcome. I love the word victorious. I think it's like victorious. It's such a great word. All right. So So Earl Nightingale is quoted as saying, we become what we think about, right? What we think about, we bring about. We've heard that turned into so many different quotes, right? What we think about, we bring about, right? So stay in your circle of influence. We have heard that so many times. Stay in your circle of influence. Concentrate on what you can control. I can't control the gas prices, right? When people complain about gas prices, I want to freaking scream. Like, I literally want to scream. Like, as soon as somebody says something about gas prices, my brain just shuts down, because otherwise I don't know what I might do. Because I'm like, what? Why are you complaining to me about gas prices? I can't do anything about gas prices. Complain to somebody who can do something, and I don't know who that is. So I don't know what to tell you, right? I can't control gas prices. I can't control the cost of living. And but you know what? I can't control if somebody dates a party, and I can't control other people's actions. What I can control is I control my thoughts, I can control my actions, and I can control my choices. And so that is where I live. And that is where you need to live. And if that means that you have to kind of walk away from some of those conversations to kind of keep your peace, that's what you have to do. And you don't have to be dramatic about it as much as I have this internal like vision of like my head exploding sometimes when people do things like that. It doesn't actually happen. I just kind of smile, and sometimes I'm just like, "Oh, you know what? I just remembered. Let me go grab something. I will be right back." Like, and I excuse myself from the conversation. I make up something. I'm like, "Oh, I have to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back." I just something. It's at my phone. It's at my phone. Oh my gosh, I gotta find a charger. Something. Right? Anything to get out of that conversation. Right? So lean into what you can control. When we were losing our house and we couldn't control the bank or the lawsuits, I could choose my response to it, and I still chose joy. So when we were losing our house, we had an appraiser that had to come to the house for the bank and all the other nonsense, right? So the appraiser knew why she was coming, and I knew why she was there. And the kids were little, and she came to the door, and I had the front door open, and so I was like, "Hey, hey!" And so I came to the front door. I was like, "Come in, come in, come in." And so I was like, "Do you want anything? So want some water or anything?" She's like, "No, no, I'm fine." And I was like, "Well, let me know if there's anything you need." I said, "I'm just gonna be in here with the kids." And I was just like, "Yeah, just let me know." And so she kind of wandered around. She asked a couple questions. Then she was finishing up. And so she's like, "Do you mind if I sit here?" And I said, "Oh, no, not at all." And so we just kind of started talking. Well, we got into this huge conversation, right? And at the end of it, she goes, "I know why I'm here." And I was just like, "Yeah, I know." And she said, "And this is not what I expected." And I said, "Well, what do you mean?" And she said, "Well, I know why I'm here, and I know that the bank sent me, and I come into houses all the time. And a lot of times people are really mad and they're very mean to me." And I was like, "You're just doing your job. Why would I be mean to you?" I said, "It's not your fault that we're in this situation." And she's like, I know that." And she's like, your house is just so full of light and life." And I was just like, "Well, it's not my kids' fault." I was like, This is their home too," and I just like, I had to choose that joy every day, as much as there were times when it was breaking my heart and I didn't know what the future held. I didn't know any of that stuff, but I had to choose that joy. And so you always have a choice as to what it is what face you're going to put on and what your attitude towards that day or that situation is. And so choose wisely, because you're the one who is living with you, right? And so it's affecting you the most. And so you want to make sure that you're choosing wisely with that. So number 6 is optimize the bad breaks. So you will likely fail at some point in your life, right? I mean, maybe not. I mean, maybe you're just one of those people who just never fails at anything you do, right? So whether it is due to wrong actions, insufficient training, poor timing, or plain just bad luck, it isn't important, right? So what the key is to learn what you can from the failure right now, right? And you can have a pity party, right, for 24 hours if you must, right? But then let it go. You have to let it go, and you have to move on. Take another action. You have to move forward and take another action that you can give you an additional chance of success, right? That is so key. You learn more from the losses than you do the wins. We know this. We know this over and over and over again. You learn way more from losing than you do from winning. So number 7 is use luck rituals. All right. I don't know if there's any science behind it at all, but you know what? There is nothing that hurts, right? There's nothing that hurts using a luck ritual, right? Get a lucky suit. Got a lucky suit or tie? What about a lucky pair of socks? These seem to really work, especially for sports people, right? What these luck rituals can do is put you in a better frame of mind to expect and receive the the luck and opportunities that come your way, right? They will change your vibe, and your vibe attracts your tribe, right? We hear it all the time. So what are you putting out there? Like, what is it that you're putting out there? Because you have to be aware of that. There are times I'll be running errands and I'm like, everybody is so mean today. And if I, and by the time I get to like the third store and everybody's being mean to me, I'm like, okay, the common denominator is me. So I need to take a look at me. Like, am I happy about it? No, but it is the truth. I am the common denominator. So I really need to like take a hard look in the mirror and be like, so what am I putting out there? Like, what's my vibe? Like, am I projecting like anger because I'm getting anger? Like, it's like, but just be honest with yourself, It makes no sense to lie to yourself, right? So when it comes to the business, one surefire way to get lucky in this business is through recruiting. So every time you recruit, you increase your odds of success, right? For every 10 you recruit, maybe one becomes a manager, right? So never prejudge. Our job is to educate. That is our job. Our job is to educate. So let go of the yes and just educate them on our business, right? Then stay connected to the ones that aren't ready right now, right? And just remember, the harder you work, the luckier you get. All right, so that is the end of our trading, and that's the end of our meeting for today. So I think we have some winners, right? Jenny, do you want to announce those? Did you text them to me? I feel I've gotten so many texts today, I can't remember.
No, we have the drawings.
You have drawings. Okay, sorry.
Yes.
I don't know what's happening. My brain's all over the place.
Okay. We only have the drawings if I can find them. Hang on just a second. There they are. Okay, so we've got the hashtag March started. So we have hashtags for March, and we got some really fun ones so far this month. And Robin Vanderwagen, I don't know if you're gonna win or not, but you have put out so many raffle sheets and so many games and helpful things that it's just been so much fun. And we've got Tammy and Kathy and Bonnie also have done Share the Shine for March. So you guys get with it, because some of you that usually do it, we didn't have you yet, but it's early. So I'm gonna do this one right here, and it is Bonnie Alexander.
Aw.
I
Hey, so
know.
I have a question, Jenny. Is Share the Shine for the month of March, is it cumulative? So if you do it at the beginning of the month, does it keep adding or is it by the week?
It's cumulative. It's all month long.
Cool. I didn't realize that. I thought it was by the week.
No, the more you share, the more you shine. Thank you very
Robin's
much.
working I should have known that. Robin's game in the system. She's like, I'm doing it
Yeah.
early, then I'm gonna be in every drawing. See, I should have known
Robin's
that.
like,
See?
I'm just gonna keep going and going and going.
Marty. I'm on to you, Robin.
Okay, and then we had the ahas from bingo
Front loading.
last week. Front loading.
Robin. So Tammy, Share the Shine is when you share a business idea, like you share something that's working for you. Like Robin made the raffle sheet, so she shared those. She also shared some of the back end of her text messages between somebody where she was upselling on her raffle sheets. So she just shared, anything like that, anything that's like kind of working for you in your business, tips, ideas, and then you just hashtag it March Share the Shine. And
2025.
2025. March Share the Shine 2025. And then your name goes into a drawing. So they just do a search for that hashtag, and then your name goes into a drawing, apparently all month long. So, and Robin's a very good sharer for Share the Shine. So that's kind of the point of it, is just to kind of encourage people to just share ideas throughout the month of things that are working in their business, or if they create something, stuff like that. So thanks for asking, because I'm sure there's somebody else that didn't know either, and they just didn't know to ask, or maybe we're embarrassed to ask because they're like, everybody knows, but I don't know. Right. Thanks everybody for joining us. We'll see you again real soon.